Hello, it is me, Alison Rosen, host of Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend, the podcast you're listening to. Unless that's not the podcast you meant to be listening to, in which case, what happened? Anyway, I just want to explain that the episode you're about to hear is not brand new. And you might be thinking, I'm confused. They're talking about pumpkin patches. Pumpkin patch season is in the rear view. Or maybe it's not. Maybe I'm so quick to just put pumpkin patch season behind when it extends into Thanksgiving. I don't really know how it works. The point is, on Monday, when I would normally be recording this show, it was Halloween. So you are hearing an encore presentation of one of my favorite episodes. The one you're about to hear is from 2017, which I think was a vintage year. That's a wine term, right? I speak wine terms. October 18th, 2017, and it is called Epiphany Judges, Clothing Appraisers, Hot Butt Magazine. And it features Wendy Molyneux, David Huntsberger, Daniel Quantz, and Chef Jeff Fox. And I know. Look, it was hard for me to choose an episode because I thought it would be easy to go back into the back catalog and choose one of my favorites, but they're all my favorites. There's so many classics that are all good. There's Make It Worse, Rob. Make It Worse. There's when Daniel accidentally somehow talked about the game of seduction. Oh my God. There's so many good ones. But anyway, this one I put on and I just was in stitches immediately. Not literal. But I think that you will also be entertained. And if not, well then, I have misjudged you, and I don't even know you at all. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll be back next week with all brand new stuff. Okay, goodbye. I love you.
And now, live from Dining Room Studios in Hollywood, California, it's Thursday on the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Alison welcomes a guest. She's a writer and president of the Boarding School Reunion Club at Pomona College. It's Wendy Molyneux. And he's a comedian you can catch this weekend playing the stairwell at the Riviera Casino in Las Vegas. It's David Huntsberger. Chef Jeff is here to make scalloped potatoes with extra scallops. I'm her husband Daniel saying hop on board Love Bus. Say hello to your best friend, Alison Rosen!
Alison Rosen, Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her the good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little banana pudding cups. It's me, Alison. Welcome to another exciting Thursday show. I would like to say hello to my guests. Hello and welcome back, David Huntsberger.
Thank you for having me. I love banana pudding cups.
What a perfect carb, then. Hello, Wendy Molyneux.
Hi.
And welcome back.
I don't care for banana pudding.
How do you feel about bananas?
Fine.
Oh, but
let's just not pudding them.
Okay.
For me. For David, yes.
Right. Well,
for me, no.
Then if I wanted to have a banana themed party, I feel like I'm getting all the info I need. Hello, Daniel.
Hi.
Banana?
I heard recently that Nestle has gone into the rainforest to these tribes in the rainforest that hadn't had any contact with people and convinced them to start eating Nestle product instead of like the native grown stuff. And so now instead of eating actual bananas, they'll eat banana pudding, and obesity has really become a problem in Brazil.
Listen, if you can get to them, you've earned it.
Yeah.
Get out there, market to whoever you can get to. If you've got a rep you can send into the deep jungles.
They hire these ladies.
All right. Hello, Jeff.
This is a comedy podcast.
I left my underwear at your house with my name in them. Oh my God.
Too great not to use twice.
I know. That was the Hello, Jeff drop at the Podfest episode, which came out last week. So you guys probably heard that. Hopefully we had a good time at Podfest. I left my underwear at your house with my name in them.
Where was Podfest?
It was at
the Biltmore.
The Millennium Biltmore in downtown LA.
Oh, okay. So it was local.
It was local.
Didn't have to put all your stuff in a buggy.
I mean, we did anyway.
Oh,
just
sure.
because we love caravanning.
Yeah. No, caravanning is the best.
Right. But we didn't have to. It was an unnecessary 3-day trip. It's just how it goes.
I was just thinking about caravanning. and about how people will still suggest that you follow them places, even though you have like 2 maps in your car that are so fucking accurate now.
Right.
People will be like, "Do you want to follow me?" And it's like, no. Like, what? It's sort of like I feel insulted when people ask me like as if I haven't figured out how to use a map.
But
in my
also,
phone.
it's like, and now the trip will be much more stressful, especially if your phone is telling you to go one direction and the person you're ostensibly following isn't going that direction. Then what do you do?
And there's the pressure to not lose the person each way. So if you're following, you don't want to lose them. But if you're the person driving, you have to be watching like, oh, that light's about to turn yellow. I shouldn't peel through it.
Maybe it's actually nice. Like people are wanting to like. Maybe it's one of the last few thrills you can have now. It's the caravan
In
the
Trump's
thrill
America.
Of caravanning. Yeah. Now that we have phones.
It always gets me from a fellow driver point of view when I'm at like say a 4-way stop, and then a second car zooms through, and then it occurs to me like, oh, they're following each other. These people don't have smartphones. What's that? Or I don't know. Do you ever see that?
I assume the other person is chasing the other person to kill them. I do. Literally last night I was driving back. I went to the Inland Empire where my sister lives to go to a very specific pumpkin patch, which we then did not go to. And we went to a different, very specific pumpkin patch.
Why? I must know why there was a sudden last minute 11th hour pumpkin patch change.
Because I guess the pumpkin patch we usually go to, my other sister got there first. And was like, she's like, it's the fucking apocalypse here.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get off the freeway exit. You can get in the parking lot. So we had to go to this other
because it was so crowded.
I've got a pretty
so
good,
many people need pumpkins.
I've got a pretty good pumpkin guy if you need some.
Oh yeah.
Just let me know.
Okay. Well,
Does he come over wearing a trench coat and the pumpkins are in the pockets of the trench coat?
If they're just giant pleated pants full of pumpkins.
he has horrific posture and bone problems now.
Tight belt.
Well, so how was it?
The pumpkin patch?
Yeah.
The one we went to was nice. It was like a genuine farm.
Ooh.
Like with a family that was like, I think run by a family, like an actual farm.
The family was run by a family?
Yeah, the family was run by a family.
There were 2 families. There was the family.
They're controlled by another family.
Another family
and I
on the
was
balcony.
able to suss it out because they just seemed really spooked. And then I noticed another family in the corner who everything they did, they would do sort of little head nods or like shake their head a little bit or
Just
raise an
slight
eyebrow.
whistles.
And you could tell it was sort of a Twilight Zone situation where one family was running the farm and another family showed up to control them.
That's really perceptive of you to have honed right in on this family controlling the other family thing because it is around Halloween time, so you might have just thought it was an attraction.
No, it was clearly they were deeply psychologically damaged. I don't know how long it's been going on, but they were trying to keep up an air of fun. There were goats and alpacas and whatnot, but obviously a lot was going on under the surface.
You were talking about the ride back, though.
Oh yeah, a guy like zoomed through like around me and through a light, and I was like, "Oh, that guy's going to kill that other guy." In my head. Like that's, I must be so bored to come up, like my brain like it instantly goes to like the worst possible.
No, I don't know that I assume other people are trying to kill other people, but I assume that some sort of violence will break out on the road, and I hope it's not near me. Like whenever a car,
like violence is going to break out.
no, like if a car, like the type you're talking about, where
Okay.
someone's going to kill someone. Like if a car zooms by or is driving erratically, I try. Maybe this is just me or everyone. That's probably everyone. I just try to stay far away because I'm like, I don't know what that person's up to. Gunshots might happen.
Yeah,
Is this just me?
I think so.
I think I just said I do think that,
That it's just me? No,
but
it's
I don't
just
try
us.
to stay away. Like I know also that I'm not right, so I don't try to stay away from it.
Where
I know
you and I
just
go
come
two
up
different
with a
directions.
tale in my mind, and then it's not actually going to happen. But immediately I think it, and then I'm like, no, that's not happening. They're
That's
just
good.
driving around.
That's wonderful that you have the "no, that's not happening" voice in your head.
great.
Yeah,
Good. Something is good about me.
I need more of that. So because we did Podfest last week, I did not have a chance to tell everyone. Unless I did tell everyone and I am losing my mind, which is also possible. So this week, Allie Ward on the show, super fun. The week before,
Sephora.
Christina Pajitsky, and we recorded it at her studio, and she has video. So you can actually see a video of us doing the podcast if you go to youtube.com/Alison Rosen. There's not a lot going on there. I have not updated it in a long time, but there is this video of Christina and me and then older videos. So check that out. Also check out the fun Allie Ward episode. She has
Sephora
inspired me to change my note-taking apparatus, because usually I just use a notebook, but she had this little mini binder with tabs and whatnot, and I am going to get so organized, you guys. It's going to change my life.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That sounds exciting.
I feel
Get
excited.
more organized.
Anything could happen,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
could
probably
stumble
not.
on like theories and solve all kinds of math equations.
Oh yeah, maybe you'll be a late in life Goodwill Hunting.
Oh my God.
Like you didn't. I mean, it's more exciting, I guess, when it's a younger person. No offense, with a whole lifetime of
Yeah,
solving
thank you.
math equations ahead of them. But there's no reason to say that you can't be like
Right.
the Grandma Moses of Goodwill Huntings. I tried
feel
to
like
think of
it's
someone
actually-
younger who was a late bloomer, but I could only think of Grandma Moses. And then I thought you weren't going to like that, but I was too deep.
Periodically, I will read lists of like people who Grandma Moses'd themselves.
Right.
And
What did she do, by the way?
Painting, maybe?
I thought
That
I,
seems
I was
reasonable.
just going along with it.
She
yeah.
was Moses' grandma. It was
Oh.
5,000 years ago or something, right?
And
No,
so that would mean his name was Moses Moses?
Yeah, it was Moses.
Anyway, I will read lists of people who like they didn't have success till they were 40 or till they were 50. But now I forget all of them.
I think Samuel L. Jackson made it big in his 40s.
Yeah,
I'll buy
that
that.
could be right.
Sure. I'll just go with it.
Know. Yeah.
All right.
I like the idea of you winning some sort of Nobel Prize late in life and them asking, why didn't you get involved sooner? Like,
In mathematics.
Didn't- yeah.
She's a real, she was a real natural, it turns out.
Turns out I just didn't have
Maybe
the
you
right
just
binder.
never saw like a really hard math problem before.
Yeah.
Like we could all be Goodwill Huntings. We've just never walked by a blackboard with a hard math problem on it.
It
Yeah.
is.
Or
Only
easy
all
answer,
easy
but you weren't
math.
confident enough to blurt it out.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
I
all
want it to
opportunity.
be like when a cat sees a bird or something and they just immediately, like something in them is triggered. That's what I want to see,
Yeah.
and then that's my math problem.
Right.
Yeah, maybe it's one very specific math problem that you were meant to solve. Maybe we each have one.
Oh, I hope
But
so.
the chances of walking, I mean, when did you see a blackboard last?
Very rarely.
Very
people
rarely.
just
Do
don't
they even
have-
have them anymore?
What they don't
Yeah.
have are people that just put equations up and move on with their day. That's what you really
Like
need.
as a challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
We should be
Well,
doing that more for each other.
Yeah, I mean, there's open glass space, storefront windows. We could just dry erase marker,
Windshields.
crank some equations on
Yeah.
there.
But I really don't think there are blackboards anymore. I feel like everyone has moved towards dry erase. I mean, look at me. I get one mini binder, and now I know everything about office supplies, but I really think it's moved towards dry erase boards.
Well, a lot of restaurants and
Oh,
brew
yeah.
pubs,
Yes,
places
and-
like that.
yeah, yeah.
I think Pottery Barn likely sells
But
one
more
for
as a
home.
deliberate move, like retro kind of
Look
thing.
how
Anything
cute
kind
we
of-
are,
yeah.
kind of.
Even remotely artisanal.
Oh yeah, if it's artisanal, it goes on a fucking blackboard.
There's some chalk.
Yep.
And I feel there's like chalkboard paint you can get for your kitchen that I see in
Yes.
catalogs and things. And
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
here's a question. You know when you go in and you see the chalkboard and there is like a really intricately drawn something rather on it, and then the menu items next to it. Is there a person that gets hired to go all around town and do really cool chalk
I
moves?
think so. I
That
think there are
seems-
guys and girls. Girls can be anything.
That's
right?
true.
Including chalk artists.
well,
They can be latte artists.
okay, I'll go with yes.
So wait, but every night do they just erase around
Around it,
the
yeah.
I think
piece
so.
of art that's on the? What if you sneeze?
Ah,
Why don't
damn it, Johnny! That's $45 we gotta come up with again.
Why don't
I
you
think
next time you're at a Starbucks and you see a really nice one, ask to meet the artist?
I think I shall, because I never do. I just assume. One time I did ask, and they said, "Oh, one of our waitresses just is good at that and did it."
Oh.
And that was my only research on the subject.
And then she'll be so happy that someone noticed her work, and she'll come over, and then it'll be really awkward because that's literally all you had to say to her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll
was
think
nice.
that she's getting discovered for chalk art, like a Goodwill Hunting.
A lady chalk
then-
artist.
Yeah.
You could
I
have-
happen to be a Lady Chalk artist agent.
Yeah, you can have
Just
business cards made up
Happened
like
to come in here today, and here you are.
chalkboard artist agent.
Do you
Here,
have representation currently? My commission is low. I know every.
you know the Starbucks at Universal City Yeah, I got that person that job.
I'm with ICM, International Chalk Management.
Yep.
So I need to pay lots of compliments towards Wendy because Daniel and I went to the comedy show and benefit that I talked about on this show, which was called Beef Relief, and it was put on by Bob's Burgers, and it was to benefit the International
Rescue Committee.
Right.
Yes.
And it had all sorts of huge names like Kristen Schaal, Nicole Byer, Will Forte, Zach Galifianakis, Andy Kindler, John Lovett.
I'm going to have to remember John Lovett, Ron Funches,
Laura
Dan
Silverman.
Mintz, and Laura Silverman. That's everybody because it was 9. Because I kept having to type emails that included all those names. And so I'm like, it's 9. There were 9 people there.
It was a hilarious show. Had the best time because I don't go out and do stuff like that much now that I have a baby.
No, me neither.
But it was, I had the best time, but I knew you were involved. I knew Wendy was involved in it, but what I didn't realize until, and then also Lauren, the creator, creator of the show, spoke as well. What I did not realize until I heard Lauren say this and I heard Kristen Schaal, who hosted, say this, the whole thing was Wendy's idea.
Well, but the International Rescue Committee is not my idea.
You
know what I mean?
invented the International Rescue Committee.
What happened was I heard Tommy Vitor on Pod Save the World, which I listen to those podcasts pretty much nonstop because they soothe me. Just to hear someone speaking rationally about politics is so sort of soothing. But originally, the one that I heard where I thought we should do something for the IRC was talking about what were they talking about at the time? Oh, right, the famine in Yemen. This is 17 crises ago, so it's hard to keep track. So our benefit, half the money went for famine relief in Yemen, and half went to resettle refugees in Los Angeles. Because through doing this, I got in touch with this guy Martin, who runs the local chapter. So there's an LA chapter in addition to an international chapter, and this organization has been around since the 30s or the 40s, and they go into the worst.
They're in Myanmar.
Now they're in Myanmar,
Yeah.
right, with the Rohingya crisis. So I just heard that, and I was like, well, we could try, because we have Bob's Burgers, and we have people who are associated with the show may volunteer to do something. And what I thought was cool was literally, I thought it'll be hard to find. These are all really busy comics. I sent one email to each of them just saying hey, could you do this night? It started with Kristen Schaal and Dan Mintz from our show. And then I think it was the first 7 people that I emailed. I didn't know who to email. I was like, I'll email people either I sort of know and feel a little comfortable with, or someone else on the show knows well enough to ask them. So because we have a huge list of people who've been on the show. So it wasn't picking and choosing these are the only people we'd want. It was sort of well, who do I feel any connection to that I don't feel sheepish emailing? And literally everyone just said yes. And it's even though things are so fucked up right now and horrible, it was so nice that people were really busy. We were sure, yeah. Without even being and can I get this or could I do that? It was everyone's just sure. Then I'd be can you do 10 minutes? And everyone's yeah. And even things I was do you need us to get you a car or anything? Everyone's no, I'll just drive. It was just nice to see everyone kind of get in the spirit of if there's a volunteer opportunity to be had, and then everybody paid to come to the show. It wasn't a cheap ticket. It's kind of nice to see that people are trying right now, really trying. Even some people didn't even truly know what the cause was, but they were sure, a cause I will give now. It's
it did seem
people want to do anything to help right now, which abates a little bit of feeling sad about the way things are going.
Tommy Vitor was there, right?
Yeah, John Lovett brought him out on stage. And those are the guys that really know anything about anything.
So when he was talking specifically about the Rohingya crisis, you could tell a lot of people in the audience,
Tommy talked about it.
Me included, were oh, this is so much worse than I realized.
It's terrible. Yeah.
But back to the Wendy part of it all. Just at the very top of the show to hear Kristen Schaal be if it weren't for, Wendy Molyneux, then we wouldn't all be up here doing this, And then I, in my head, sitting in the dark, watching this, and and hearing your name, a few different times from different people, and then sitting in the audience, flash back to college and watching you in Without a Box, the improv troupe, and it was just so cool to see look where you are now. And I was just so
well,
proud to be your friend.
I am human garbage, but I'm glad that the night went well and that we raised some money for that cause. But I do think like it is kind of interesting to be like, oh, you could just like, because I'm on like another like message group with people after the election or whatever. And a lot of people have started, like there's this woman, Miri, who started an organization called Miri's List that like she just, I think pretty much just straight up decided to start collecting things for refugees who are coming here. And I don't think she necessarily, I don't know her very well, so I may be getting her story totally wrong. So I hope you'll pardon me. But I think she just kind of decided to start doing this. I don't know if she had any experience with it. And now she puts out like a call of like, this family of 9 is coming. Does anyone have 2 cribs, a stroller, a bike? And people just like give that shit. So I think it's like, it's maybe a good thing to know, like people can just start some shit out of nothing right now. And people actually really are eager to get involved. So it's kind of cool to know.
There's a lot of people doing so much work, and like just the other day, I mean, I don't want to brag, but I like retweeted like 3 different things that were pro, one
Good
was
stuff?
one was pro refugee, one was like marginally pro women.
One was
kind of
anti-women but funny.
And then I told the president to fuck off.
Yep.
So I'm doing my part.
Not a bad day. You don't have one day?
And then I slept.
But don't you think that kind of like, you actually do, I mean, people do need to be loud about things. So I think it's like, yeah, you should maybe do something else too. But like, if you're at work and you have to be at work, like if you do retweet something that somebody else reads and then they do something, I mean, I'm not saying that's all you should do, but there's nothing wrong with also getting out there on social media and talking about shit. That's not bad, right?
Yes, I agree with that. At the same time, sometimes I feel like, well, but the people who agree with me already agree with me, and those who don't won't.
True.
So what is the
very
point
true.
of this retweet? But I still sometimes this is not the right thing to admit. Sometimes I intentionally retweet as just a fuck you to people who disagree. Like, this is going to needle you. Fuck you.
I try to retweet things that I think will further a person's, like if they were to read it, like I'll retweet it if I found it interesting or I learned something from it.
Oh yeah, I do that too.
So it's like if I learned something from it, then someone else out there who's as dumb as me will learn something from it. But I guess what I think is probably anyone who disagrees with me has stopped following me and paying attention to me by this point. So I'm just sort of preaching to the choir, but
And also people are so far, like there's nothing anyone could tweet about the Charlottesville Nazi rally to convince you that you were actually on the side of the Charlottesville Nazis. Like if the sides are that far apart,
Right.
Yeah.
like you're probably not going to get them either, I guess. Maybe there's some people somewhere in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah, the mindset of that person, like, I follow everybody, and every day I'm just kind of teetering.
I'm teetering between being an actual Nazi or like getting a social work degree. Like, those are my 2. I swing.
There were tweets though I saw after that whole incident where someone was like, if you just keep calling everyone on the right Nazis, it just makes me want to be a Nazi, and it's like. Really? Like, stop calling people Nazis, or else I'll want to also kill Jews. Like, I don't understand.
That's a tactic, because I see that a lot. If someone points out what they think is whatever word you want, evil behavior, whatever word you want to apply to it, then someone will, in the comments invariably will be like, what are you doing to bring people together? Why, we need to focus on unity instead of being divisive. It's like, that's just a talking point.
I go back and forth on an aspect of this, which is I think and I'm guilty of this too. We can come off as sanctimonious, like because everything is an outrage and everything is morally black and white on a lot of this stuff for us. I think for everybody, no matter what side you're on, that the tactics of trying to convince another person can be lost. And then I flip over to the other side of like, but even if I were to approach things like, I'll just take people in my life I know who voted for Trump. If I were to go to them and try to I don't think I could change their mind even then. So I don't know. So then I go, fuck it. And then I'm just sanctimonious again.
You know what I didn't?
I don't know how to get through. I don't know how to.
You know what I didn't realize until I did some reading on the internet? All the stuff that
internet, you say?
Yeah.
What is the website for that?
It was It was Lycos.
Oh,
it was
you
Alta
like us?
Vista.
Oh, you Alta Vista'd it?
I did. All this stuff that we point to is like, look how awful everything is becoming. There are people who look at all of that and be like, he's MAGA-ing so hard right now.
Yeah.
Like to them, this is part of the transition to getting to whatever great America is. It's like,
Right.
and
You
also
mean
for
Trump.
some people, it's end times. And they want end times.
Well, but
so like there really is such a humongous dogmatic and ideological divide. I don't actually know how to reach across
Well,
it.
yeah, because I think that there's when you talk about the anger and everything, it's like there are a lot of people who just feel like everything's broken, so he's a grenade that's going to blow everything up, and then we can rebuild it, the way I guess they feel like it should be rebuilt. And so everything that is outraged that outrages the left is like good because it's tearing it apart. You're mad because everything's falling apart, but that's what we wanted, and it's kind of hard to have a rational like, well, okay, you want to burn it down and I don't,
Right. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to know.
But I just want to say, look how gorgeous my wife is tonight. She has a cute blouse and she looks really great.
She does.
What's going on here?
I don't know.
Happening? What are we transitioning into? Is this transitioning into some...
It actually
No.
is, but I don't think he knew
kissing
that.
stuff?
Somewhat?
Some kissing stuff?
No,
Are you guys
no,
going to
no.
do some kissing stuff?
That's a fun segment.
Kissing
Yeah.
stuff?
I just think I was just thinking it, and I thought I spent a lot of time,
Making me feel bad?
making jokes to on the other side of things that I would balance it out.
That's very sweet. Thank you. And that concludes kissy stuff.
Well, now I feel awkward. I'll never do that again.
No, but it was a perfect segue. You didn't realize it was a perfect segue. But
I'm gonna
this
go.
top that I'm wearing is from Le Tote, who I was just about to talk about. And Le Tote may sound familiar to you. You may have heard about their clothing rental subscription service before, but they have a new service with personal stylist picked pieces that are brand new, and it's called Le Tote Select. You guys have probably had that experience where you buy a piece and you love it, but it's cheaply made and you get tons of compliments and you feel confident. And then after a few wears, it starts to fall apart. Or you go to the mall looking for something nice and you find yourself like among all this stuff that you like, but you pay a lot more than you budget for. It's hard to get stuff that you're going to really like for a price that's affordable. That is where Le Tote comes in. This shirt I'm wearing right now costs $1 million.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was.
I buy it.
Thank you.
It's nice to have a simple friend
I know.
who believes everything you say.
I appreciate that support. Actually,
I just truly believe it. I'm looking at this shirt. I'm appraised many items of clothing, and
Oh, right. That's your business.
yeah.
Is it not?
Aside from managing a number of chalk artists,
Yeah. You also appraise clothing while it's
certainly,
on wearers.
while it's on people.
Yeah.
it was painless. Your appraising of this shirt was painless.
Have you had other appraisals that were painful?
Yes, I have.
That probably wasn't an actual appraiser. That
Le
was really
Tote
something else.
also is super convenient. Better quality and brand name fashion for less than some other fashion boxes, and you don't have to compromise on fashion. High quality doesn't have to come at a premium price. A one-time box of stylist selected fashion handpicked for you and conveniently delivered right to your door. Order your box for a $20 styling fee. They'll apply that fee to anything you decide to buy in the box. And also when you sign up, I think I've mentioned before, I love taking quizzes like this. They show a bunch of different outfits and oh, by the way, the ring I'm wearing. I just yelled that. The ring I'm wearing. Look, I'm showing my hand off. Do you want to appraise this ring?
I have that at $700,000.
That is correct. They send accessories too. So they show you a bunch of different pictures and like which is the one that appeals most to you. And then they create a box for you and then you can replace different items and then the more you do it, the better they get at predicting what you'll like. It's pretty amazing. Go to letote.com. That's LETOTE.com/select start. Enter promo code ROSEN at checkout. We'll give you an additional $25 purchase credit for your first box. Once you sign up, you'll receive your stylist selected box within days. Order a box whenever you like. Keep the items you love. Return the rest unworn. You'll only be charged for the pieces you keep. It's that easy. Enter your code ROSEN at letote.com/select and feel fabulous with stylist selected fashion delivered right to your door.
What I like about a Latote ad read is imagining it in sort of a Twin Peaks kind of way, with playing it backwards where it would sound like total. Total.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
fun.
It's total.
Yeah.
Daniel loves backward talk.
Latote's a good one.
It is a good one. I did an intro for my podcast. It was all in backward talk. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Gremlin nap chip. Yeah.
So did you try to say it backwards and then play it back forwards?
I would figure out what the sentence was, and then you have to take each word apart phonetically and kind of
try to say it backwards.
and then you go, well, and
I've
then
done
you try to.
this.
It's really hard.
I used to do it at NBC with my friend Matt Jacoby and my husband.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. And we still say the phrases to each other that came back out
What
the
were they?
best way. The one that we say all the time still is, I know someone who has sweaty feet. That's how it sounded when it got played back. And we'll still, when we see each other, I don't see Matt that much because we have a billion children and we're always at home.
good.
I'll just be like, hey, Matt, I know someone who has sweaty feet. I can't remember the other one. I'll try to text Jeff to remember. I think there was a Santa one that I really liked. But I'm going to have to text him to try to remember because it was years ago. But yes, it's great.
It's
great.
It's
fun
tricky. There's
and
so many.
stupid.
There's so many sounds that you don't realize have a weird structure. So you, like a T, you think you could just do a T, but a T has a tail. So you have to. Yeah, and there are things you have to figure out how, or else it'll sound. You won't get that sound, that T
Right.
sound.
Yeah.
So, big news. Wendy is going to our fertility doctor.
It's true.
Oh.
Not to get pregnant with you guys. Although, you know what? Whatever happens, happens.
If you ask for the Elliot,
yeah.
they
You might.
will.
I
Yeah.
know.
You could be our third.
They show you 3 different babies and you get one of those babies. You guys just think you got a specific baby. There's 3 babies they give out.
You just put your keys in the Starbucks bowl, and then what happens, happens.
Yep. I could get anybody's baby.
And you have started taking a something, and you are concerned that it would make you feel crazy, but you don't feel crazy.
I didn't feel crazy, but I'm glad that I thought I would. Like, I feel like if you go into something thinking it's going to be the worst possible experience, then it's like so delightful when it's not.
Yes.
Was there a moment where you were like, yeah, I'm fine. And just,
No, I did because I have anxiety, so I can easily convince myself something is terribly, terribly wrong. So the first night I took it, it was like I felt like
Clomid
my
for people who
experience-
are
it's called Clomid.
Yeah.
And it's very common and most people tolerate it very well. But I took it and then it was as if like I had taken mushrooms. Like that's how heightened all my sensory perceptions got. I feel like I have the experience when anything happens to me that most people want from like mushrooms or LSD, which is like suddenly like everything's too hot, too bright, sounds are louder, like I'm freaking out. And then like 15 minutes into it, I'm like, oh, nothing's happening. Like it's all my own. Something is happening, which is the adrenaline in my body is going fucking nuts. But that's not an actual side effect. That's just a crazy person. So yeah, it's been fine. I turned bright red one day, but that was it.
Yeah, I think
It was like a fun, like Violet Beauregard kind of experience. Cool. Yeah, it was fine.
Have you been tired or cold or anything?
I'm always tired. I'm always angry. So I don't know. It's fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
So far, so good. We'll see what
good.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep us posted.
I will.
Um,
I'll put a camera in my womb or something and then run a cam.
I'd love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, at
I mean,
least
they
I know I'm
actually-
going to have one viewer. That's all I need.
You certainly will.
Thank you.
And
it's
I'll
like
comment.
the baby eagles. Weren't there like baby
Yes.
eagles or
Yeah.
baby? Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
well, someone should do. I'm surprised no one has that no one has live streamed their womb.
What if I put some baby eagles up there? Couple birds in the snatch.
I would-
That's going to be
I would.
big time viewership.
I would definitely.
That's a real 2 in the bush sort of
Yeah,
scenario.
it is 2 in the bush. It's literally 2 birds in the bush.
Okay, so I found this book in the bathroom. It's Daniel's book. It was on the pile of magazines, but next to it, there's some sort of. Is there an organizational system to all the reading material in the bathroom?
Just things pile up. It's sort of like the Grand Canyon. It's just the eons.
Your strata.
are represented by each. Yeah.
So you can go back all the way. There's
You can go back
a
in time.
preschool workbook.
Absolutely.
You can see your whole
I have old
life.
farmers' almanacs
Go
down
through
there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it all
highlights.
just a collection of 8 or 10 pages of each book you read, or did you plow through all of them?
No, it's just magazines. But this book, somehow, I think I brought it in there once, and then it got quickly buried by, other magazines, and then I forgot that it was in there. And then,
Yeah.
And then I found
someone went. I think my mom, when she's here, she is discovering all these new magazines. So if I'll find things all rearranged.
Now,
in
what
this
are
found
jugs,
it-
Daniel? What is a hot butt?
That's right.
Is that a real magazine?
Hot butt?
butt?
Wouldn't that be great?
I want it to
Hot
be.
butt
Singular.
magazine.
Just hot butt.
Hot butt sounds like
There's
what
one per month. It
butt-
actually only comes out 4 times a year just to build up
I like that title.
anticipation.
That's like what a 9-year-old might think of a porn. Like, it's hot butt.
Wow, cool butt.
Oh my God. Well, this offers me the perfect segue. Speaking of hot butts, I want to tell you guys about Tommy John. Look, over the
That's
years,
a segue, Alison.
Now that's a
Thank you.
segue.
That's a fucking segue, man.
Talking segues.
over the years, we upgrade so many things.
Hot segue.
Cars, phones, TVs. When was the last time you upgraded your underwear? Your underwear. I want to tell you about Tommy John, not the surgery, the revolutionary men's underwear brand that's redefined comfort for guys everywhere. Each pair is crafted from ultra lightweight fabric for maximum breathability. The legs never ride up. The waistband never rolls down. The guy who created it was just super frustrated with men's undershirts, and he felt like they were best suited, the way it was explained to me, best suited to fit a UPS box. Like they're not cut for a human being. They're just cut for a box. So he created one for himself that would fit right.
And
that-
super comfortable.
Yes. And then he started creating them for his friends, and then he started just creating them for everyone, and then hence. And his name,
Is John Thomas.
no, it's actually, his first name is Thomas, and John is his middle name. So it's just convenient that it also...
His last name is Underwear.
Yes. Exactly.
Cover up that hot
Very
butt.
great.
So Tommy John underwear has a horizontal fly, which
Yeah.
perplexed me because I guess I just don't understand how
How
flies
men's
and
work.
that's what I don't understand. So I was asking Daniel, and he explained it.
The first of all, I got some this underwear and undershirt, and they're great. The fly, normally with men's underwear, the fly's like sideways, and the idea is if you're wearing slacks or you have your
Sideways.
It
like
goes up
or
and
like
down,
vertical,
right?
vertical.
I've seen a pair of men's underwear, guys.
Yeah, come on, people.
I totally knew.
And so like if you're at work or whatever, and you don't want to take your the belt buckle and stuff off, and then have your shirt untucked, you just go through the zipper, but to pee. But it's sort of a pain. The way they do this is it's horizontal, and it's like so much easier, and it doesn't feel like you're still snug in there. It's good.
I like that and I feel a little vulnerable admitting this, but my reproductive organ originates just a shade to the side, closer to one of my hips, and I like to swing it out like a gate. And these sound perfect for a gentleman such as myself.
I think they were almost designed for you.
Yeah.
All right, left or right? Your left or
A
right?
gentleman reveals
Stage left
nothing.
or stage right?
Right. Even their socks are engineered to stay up all day. And all Tommy John underwear is backed by the best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guarantee.
The sock thing is a pain when you're trying to sleep, and it's like still up, and it's like, hey, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, go watch TV or something.
Good sock material.
Well, don't just stare at me.
What was the origin of this? I missed this step in
The
there.
socks are engineered to
Stay
stay
up.
up all day.
Oh,
Saying
yeah.
Stay up all night too.
damn it. Curse me and my slow-witted brain. I
Tommy
didn't follow that
John,
one.
no adjustment needed. Hurry to TommyJohn.com/bestfriend to experience life-changing comfort and get 20% off your first order. That's TommyJohn.com/bestfriend for 20% off. TommyJohn.com/bestfriend. It is now the time in the show where all of me is like, move on to your Western words quiz and the other stuff you're going to get to, because if you do it and you move on right now, time scheduling wise, everything will be on target. However, every instinct in me is saying move on, but I'm not going to. But that's exactly right. But first, I got to bring us all down by sharing. I had a pretty felt significant epiphany today after I saw my psychiatrist,
Uh-oh.
not the courtyard therapist. There's a whole team of people. Wendy, my therapist, works in a courtyard building, and
Okay.
I've been going the long way because I didn't understand the layout of the courtyard, and I have
Okay.
been having trouble finding the elevator, but I've mastered that.
The psychiatrist isn't a very easy to get to.
Nope. Also, I thought, because it seems to take like 5 laps around to get to his door, and I'm like, clearly I'm going the long way. So I thought that it was just must be across the elevator, and I'm unaware of that. But today I got out of the elevator like I'm definitely just going to go right across the hall, but instead that wasn't his office, and I went all around, and then I got a call because I was late, and they were wondering if I had forgotten about the appointment or if I was on the way. And it's like, oh no, I'm here. I'm just somewhere in the perimeter of the building. But that wasn't the epiphany. So anyway, this is the psychiatrist that I get a ton out of talking to him, but sometimes he speaks in riddles a little bit. And I was talking about my, trying to free myself of this need for external validation. And he was saying something about, he was like, in the olden days, do you know what people thought epilepsy was? And it's like, I don't need a quiz right now. This would make the same impact if I didn't have to give. And I'm like, spirits? Like, yes. But imagine if you said to those people, it's not spirits, it's an electrical disturbance in your body, and there's a pill for that. What would they say to you?
The spirits?
What would the Greek people, I think, back in ye olden times? And I said, what? And I meant that they would say what, but I also kind of meant what? And he's
Right.
like, exactly. Because first I thought maybe they would just say thank you, but I knew that wasn't the right answer. And he's like, you can't get them to replace their belief about epilepsy. You have to get them to, they can't change their belief. They have to just let go of a belief or something all about it's not about changing your belief, parentheses, about yourself and your own worth. It's about just letting go of the crazy belief that doesn't help you. And it's like, it's not about what you are. It's about what you are not. And I was so spun around by the end.
Did he do his residency in ancient Greece?
I don't know.
Do you have epilepsy?
There's a pill for it, I
Okay.
guess, and it gives you spirits.
Maybe he was trying to tell you have epilepsy.
There was also a
Very
part where he's
roundabout.
like, this goes back to why we used to say God bless you. And I'm like, oh my God. This is so...
Is he trying out for a PBS special,
So wait, what was the epiphany?
So anyway, I left there mostly just feeling bad that I'd been late. That was the main thought I had. And then I got in the car, and all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute. I think I know why I spend so much time with this voracious career ambition that I've talked about frequently on the show. This I need to achieve more. I need to do more. I need other people to recognize that I have accomplished this. Da, 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 da. And it's not this. Came up when David was like, is it that you don't have time to write this or that? And it's like, oh no, it's not even about writing or creating anything. It's just about having articles that recognize that I exist. Which, by the way, an article came out that had a picture of me, Mark Maron, and John Lovett in it. And that fed my ego for days. But anyway, that ties into the epiphany. It was like all of this, it's that I am using achievement as a drug. What I'm doing with wanting to achieve something is the way that I used to, it's taking up, and by the way, I'm saying this in case it helps anyone at home. This is like a show busy kind of thing, but I think it also applies to everyone who has that voracious sort of, I need this and then I'll feel okay kind of thing. This is how I used to respond to men. Men were like a drug to me. Male attention was like a drug. Wendy knew me back in those days. How crazy was I?
You weren't crazy. I think I was kind of similar. So
We
it
were
didn't
that
seem
way.
crazy to me. It definitely, and I think it's a common thing. I mean, I don't think it's 50% of people feel that way, but I think, that's kind of the message of the culture is this, sort of put sort of like unrequited love up on a pedestal, sort of like you should feel dramatic about love. And so that's how I used to be. I used to be involved in very dramatic situations.
Yeah.
That I think they did. They took up like 60% of my brain.
I
could have been using on other things. So it's unsurprising that something else would want to go in that place.
Well, it was like I would get a crush on a guy and it was like a full-time job.
It was like hypnotic.
Yes. It was an escape from my life. It took me away from dealing with shit in my life that I didn't want to think about. And it was magical. Like all of a sudden I felt like a different person and now I have purpose and meaning and all this stuff that a relationship is not supposed to do. You need to find that meaning in your own life. And all of a sudden I realized I'm looking for a quick fix. I'm looking for a Band-Aid. I'm like, there's stuff I'm clearly not addressing elsewhere. And I'm looking, and because I'm happily married, I can't go get a crush on some guy.
Right.
So instead, it's like
so now
I'm
you have
looking.
a crush on your career.
Yes, because it's not that I want a different job. Like everything's good. I mean, yes, of course. Everyone could always achieve more. Everyone could always make more money. Everyone could always have more recognition, all that stuff. But this is different. This is like a craving for an ego boost that will function like a drug in my life. Mm-hmm. And that, I feel like it's like so fresh in my head that I'm having trouble articulating it. But it felt like an epiphany of like, oh my God, I'm looking for an escape. And the thing is, it does work. Like when there was that article that had the picture of the three of us, it was about Podfest. When that came out, it really did like put me on a high for a little while. But I think the point of life is to not rely on those things, to feel okay. They should be the icing on the cake, but it shouldn't be something you need because it's out of your control and it's undependable.
Do you remember that anecdote I mentioned about like the sense of smell when female mammals are pregnant? And I like your the neurons in your brain get replanted, etc. That was from this talk that the guy brought up the same thing about epilepsy, and he was like, we are mapping out so much more about the brain now. We're getting to know it, and he was like, I think in the end, eventually we won't really have the notion of free will so much. Like you are made up. We'll feel differently about people now, whether they are arsonists or much worse things. Like why would someone do that? It's like, oh well, their brain chemistry made them feel this way, which. People would say, well, if you look at it that way, like right now it's free will. So you're going to prison. You did that out of free will. And he was like, if we look at it more like a car and we say this car is not operating right, you wouldn't let it out on the road. You have to house it in a garage. And people say the contrast to that is like, well, now you're taking away their humanity. You're just making it seem like there's a collection of chemicals. Mm-hmm. And his response was, well, that is better than saying it's spirits or demons or things like that. But my question after your epiphany is the thing you're dealing with seems like one of those intangible things that there is no, like you could still have your whole brain mapped out, but that aspect of it seems impossible to really pinpoint. Like you're always going to have that.
Well, I think it's psychological. I think I have regressed back to that thinking wherein I need something to happen externally to feel okay. And what I didn't realize is how much I am looking for a jolt. Mm-hmm. Like I'm looking for an escape. I'm looking for a pellet reward.
Did you always have it? Like, did you ever play Heads Up 7-Up?
Yes.
And when someone would touch your thumb and you'd be like, I'm one of the people they chose.
Yes.
I think that's just a very human thing. Mm-hmm. I think you like that someone knows you exist, that you're out there.
Yes, I do too. And I think that in the field, we're all on a podcast putting our voices out, out into the ether. And it's not even the ether because we hear back from a ton of listeners. So like specifically as a podcaster, what I do is dependent on other people acknowledging that I'm sitting here doing it. Mm-hmm. However, I think the voraciousness and the like, I'm not okay unless I have this is, I don't know. Like I said, I'm having trouble really articulating it, but it felt like a big epiphany for me because what I realized is that feeling that I think I'm going to get if I get the whatever is something that I can cultivate in the life that I have right now with my baby and with Daniel and with my podcast. Mm-hmm. Like, and I should be. It's a misplaced I'm looking for something to make me feel a certain way when really I need to start with the man in the mirror, just like Michael Jackson said.
Do you think you could also be sort of addicted to the lows? Like, did you ever feel like when you were a kid that like there was somebody in your life that like rejected you most of the time, but then when they would shine their spotlight on you would be like, wow?
Not necessarily as a kid, but that was all of my relationships. I mean, it was always trying to win over the person who, like, the emotionally withholding person. So of course there is that framework in my childhood.
Yeah. I think because sometimes I think it's about like unaddicting yourself from the lows and the highs and just going in the middle. Which
Exactly.
is like,
that's what I'm saying. This I realized is kind of an addiction.
Middle all the time life.
No, I know. That's not what I mean, I definitely don't. I mean, I think we're pretty different. Like if I saw my face in a magazine, my first feeling from the back of my brain is fear. I just don't like the exposure terrifies me. So like, I think sometimes I do even stuff like this. Like I didn't used to be able to go do more like public speaking type things and stuff like that. So, but I do identify with the rejective acceptance like wave. Like mine was always interpersonal, like trying to get it from a person, like not career oriented for some reason, just because everybody has different neuroses. But I totally identify with the like, oh, I'm trying to get this person to approve of me or whatever.
It
But even
recently transferred. It wasn't always career. Like it's new that it's. I mean, I've always been driven. But I feel like there's a healthy level of being driven. This is something else. This is that,
escape,
like this
like
is
mania.
an addiction to the ego boost. Well, gross.
Yeah, but I mean, it's. I mean, if you worked in like, I don't know, the insurance industry, it would be like, oh, I need to land that big account. Like it's because it's entertainment that you might feel ew about it or something, like it's just ego, but it's like it can be.
I'm not sure that it is exact. I mean, you know better than I do, but I'm not sure it is exactly what you're characterizing, because in your field, like you're at a point now in your advanced age where it's like, it's like there's only so many years left to earn, and that in our industry is represented by, fame, or not fame, but like audience. That if you don't have an audience, you're not making a living.
Yeah.
And so you could think that that's about ego, but really that's just a measure of success.
I appreciate everyone's efforts to take this epiphany away from me.
No, I want you to have your epiphany, but just not to feel too bad about yourself about it.
Can you think of a person that gets their happiness from a place that doesn't have like a tangible connectivity to it? Like whether it's the sale of the insurance person, or like for you to just rationally be like, oh, I get it from this. Everyone gets it from somewhere. I think that's just understanding that like, oh, mine are a part of it, or a portion, or a large part of it comes from over here.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is a happiness that comes, like, I was thinking about a thing I wanted. I'm being real vague, but a thing I want to do. And I was like, and I do want to do it, but I was like, I'm going to email my agent about that. And it was because like the excitement of the emails setting up a meeting. And it's like, I want the excitement of like, I want that excitement more than the actual, but I do want that thing. But I think wanting the thing, this is what I think. I think wanting the thing is healthy. I think wanting the excitement the associated excitement that will be like, oh, it's okay. You are doing okay in your life. Like that's the part that there's just, it felt like an epiphany because I just feel like there's something off about, I recognize there's something off about my thinking about it. And, I think I know what it is. Okay. But yeah, it is confusing because it's like, it's not cleanly either thing. Like, I think that you can be driven and that you can be ambitious. You can want to achieve something and that can all be good. But this thing where there's like, you need it to feel okay that's especially when like, arguably you are okay. And plus I have a baby and I have a husband that I love and I have, etc. I shouldn't feel like I need the drug of this thing.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Thank you.
I declare that a good conclusion and a successful epiphany.
Yes. And
I'm
it
an
was-
epiphany judge. That's my thing that I do.
Oh, you appraise epiphanies?
Yeah, David does clothing appraisal. And no, it's an epiphany judge, so my ruling is final.
Oh,
It's
wow.
not like the appraisal. You could probably get another appraisal, but once
Don't
an
you say
epiphany
that.
judge has
Don't
decided,
take any work away from me.
listen,
I'm
I'm
the
just
forefront
saying
of that in this.
that you should have a strong enough ego as a clothing appraiser at this point in
I
your
do not, and
career.
I will not. I've
Jesus,
buried people
it's always
in this town.
this. I thought we could get through 1 hour without
No,
this.
no.
But every time
Every time.
every time I see you, no matter what I say, you spin it into a negative comment about your clothing appraisal business.
He also appraises accessories.
Oh yeah,
Does,
that's true.
does that
'cause the
take a
ring.
back
I mean,
seat?
that's a side business. I don't even put that on my business card. It's just clothing, but yeah, because I would just be inundated with accessories. And I do them. I hate to even say it into a microphone because people they'll just come after me about
It's
it.
just word
Do you
of
have a
mouth.
hard time
Yeah.
turning it off just when you're like out? Like, say you're at like Sizzler having a dinner,
I can't
and
even
someone walks
begin.
by in a stunning outfit.
There goes $3,300
There
and
you
11
go.
cents. Yeah,
there you go.
I
So
say it all
you
the time.
can't turn it off.
Not at all. I think chiropractors just see skeletons walking around, and I see those same
Just-
skeletons with, some.
Ching, 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 ching. You just the coin sounds as people walk by in their cool outfits.
Sometimes it's a little hologram type price tag above their head.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes I'll do a little string attached to that tag on each item, and then I'll guess if they're wearing undergarments.
Oh,
And that's where you get a little. You can never tell for sure, but
about the price.
they call that the smudge, and that means you want to keep that percentage.
I've read that.
Yeah.
on your
And that's where
in
my
your blog.
margins are kind of the highest. My smudge percentage is always within like 1 to 2.
Oh.
Industry standard is like 13.
We know. I mean, we've
Okay.
heard this so many times.
Okay,
now.
all right. I
Every
don't wanna-
time you're on the podcast, the smudge comes up, and then we go through it again in the numbers, and it's like maybe you're falling a bit into what Alison was talking about,
That's
where
true.
your career
Yeah, I'll
as the
digress.
probably the best clothing appraiser in the business.
Probably. I've known you this long, and probably.
See, this is no matter
Well,
what
I don't
say,
need the
there's no
ego
room
thing,
for
but
error for me.
It's
when I'm
statistically,
evaluating.
it's a factual.
Just because in the universe, I don't know every clothing appraiser. I know
you
six-
know Los
I know-
Angeles, and you've been in my home. You've seen my mantle.
I know 6 or 7 dozen clothing appraisers. I don't know all of them. I don't. There could be a guy in
This is
India
such an
who's going
insult.
fucking nuts over there.
So my
that you've never
statues,
met.
my awards
Never
mean
met.
nothing.
No, I mean they do. Sorry, they do. They mean a lot, and I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
I've known you since childhood, and you've always had this skill.
Yes, it's my passion.
I remember
My-
when you appraised your grandmother's clothes on her deathbed, and it was so accurate.
No one at the funeral cared for that, but everyone afterwards said, "I bought that for her," and
And
you
it
were
was
exactly
weird
right.
that her deathbed was at the funeral. Next time they should, in your family, like let the person
They were
die
prepared.
first.
They were prepared.
I was.
At the funeral.
It was
A lot of
such an
planning.
exquisite outfit she was wearing. I said, "Don't change a thing."
We'll build the coffin around her.
They absolutely did.
walled her
They
in,
embalmed
alive.
her in that gear.
Alive.
You know how hard that is to do? They didn't get a drop of embalming fluid on what I will, and I hate to admit this, $4,200 pants.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
I'm just saying there could be a guy in India.
I may leave. There's no guy in India.
Yeah, there is. There's some guy.
One of my statues says international 2011.
No, 2011.
No new guys
It's been
since then.
6 years since then.
Don't you bring that up.
Babies are
Don't
born
you
every
bring
minute.
that up. You throw that right in my face. I have to win it every year for you.
Well, it's been 6 years. That's all.
How's the Metro, this regional Los Angeles 2016? Is that close enough for you? I have that
Just
one.
one area of
I
the
know.
town. Just
But it's
Metro
the fashion
Los Angeles.
district.
It wasn't even the valley.
It's where all, I mean, this.
I'm sorry, Alison. You have your Western word book you wanted to talk about.
Sorry about
Which, by the way, you started talking about the books and then you never said why. I just want to tell you now that you left. The listeners are probably still wondering what is the book in the toilet pile
I want.
because we started talking about
It occurred to me that maybe I never said the name. Western Words, a dictionary of the Old West. So I have a quiz, but there's stuff to get to before. Unfortunately,
maybe another episode.
What?
Maybe we'll do that another time.
Oh no, we are doing it tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're doing
It's
it.
going to be 5 hours long.
It's all
I
right.
hope not, because I do have to get up early tomorrow. But we've got to do our word quiz, and I need to talk to you guys about the following. When was the last time you changed your home air filter? Did you know your home air filter can actually help keep your home cleaner? I'm talking about filtereasy.com. Home air filter can keep dust levels down. There'll be less visible dust in your home. Americans spend 90% of their time indoors. I spend 110% of my time indoors, where concentrations of pollutants are 2 to 5 times higher than the typical outdoors. If you suffer from asthma or allergies, keeping the air in your home cleaner can make a huge difference. Filter Easy solves the number one problem with home air filters, which is forgetting to change them. The average homeowner changes their home air filter 1 to 2 times a year. The minimum is 4 times a year. You won't ever forget to change the air filters in your home again. Filter Easy delivers your exact size home filter to your door when it's time to replace. Save 5 to 10% on home air conditioning costs by keeping your air conditioning and heating systems cleaner. Get started today. FilterEasy.com is offering all Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend listeners their first delivery of standard 1-inch air filters for free with free shipping. Never forget to change your air filter again. Visit filtereasy.com/Rosen or enter the promo code Rosen on the homepage.
Nice.
All right.
That's a career where you're just happy that the internet exists and no longer door-to-door sales.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a rough game.
Yeah.
If you had to knock on doors. Do you know your house has an air filter? It would just be door slammed in your face all day long.
One summer when I was in Philadelphia, a salesman left a thing on my grandparents. I was staying with my grandparents, and they left a thing saying, like, free 6-pack of Pepsi if you listen to our sales pitch for an air filter. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, like somehow could like talk my grandmother into allowing this guy to give us the pitch. And he was talking about how bad the air quality is. He's like, if you sat on this couch for a week, you know, and he was showing us pictures of all of the things in the air, you know, he's like, you would get really sick. I bet you $100 you couldn't. He's like somehow, and I was like, $100 is like $100,000 to me, and I was
Pepsi.
Yeah, I was like, deal, like I'll do it. And my grandmother had to talk me, like pull me away from making this deal, where I was literally going to just stay on the couch for a whole week for $100.
I feel like I've done that for free.
Like your face right in where these old people have been sitting all the time?
It was, you know, they had a living room no one used. You know how old people have rooms that you never use that are there for some formal occasion that never happens? Maybe like when grandmothers are dying and you want to have a funeral there. And so it was like a dusty old couch. And I think he was counting on no one ever taking him up on his bet.
Right.
I still believe I could have made it a week on that couch.
Yeah.
I do too.
Easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd had to have like a paint bucket or something for waste.
Yeah.
But there's
your
solutions.
grandparents would have loved that.
They were not.
Why
too
is your
enthusiastic.
grandson here? Oh, he's pooping and peeing in the living room because he bet a home filter salesman that he could stay on our couch for a week,
Who
and
is
he's
right
also going to get
outside.
Pepsi. Also, the guy's never coming back. He's just shitting in our living room for a week for a man who is never returning.
But I was going to get $100.
He never would have.
But I think that point, I think Wendy has a point. He wouldn't have
I can
held up
definitely
his-
start to
see
see it from their point of view now.
Right.
When you say it that way.
Finally, you got out of your bubble.
I guess I understand the enthusiasm with which they were pulling me away from the salesman.
Right.
But I still maintain I would not have died.
I agree. But it's weird that you thought that he would be so ever present that the moment you disappear to the bathroom, he'd burst through the door. I'm like, nope.
Well, I'm
Daniel
sure.
had honor, has.
I'm sure
I
he
made
was.
a bet with that strange man, and damn it, I'm going to honor it. I'll give you my bucket.
I'm sure he wasn't counting on a precocious 9-year-old taking him up on the offer, because of course he hadn't thought it through.
And he
He
told
asked
you-
to
That's a
monitor
week's
the
worth of
situation.
shit in that bucket. Give me my $100.
I want to back up a second. He told you would die
You get really sick. You get really
from
sick
sitting
and die
on a couch for a week.
if you stayed in this spot, because there was like a window above it, and I guess the dust comes through the screen or
He
something.
was
I'm
not
not sure.
a good salesman.
No.
I know. I saw right through it.
Yeah.
Did you get that Pepsi?
Oh, hell yeah, we got that Pepsi.
Did you drink 2 each? 'Cause there were
I
3
didn't
of
even
you?
really like Pepsi.
Oh, really?
I like Coke, but it was free, and I'd do anything for a free something.
Alice?
You guys, if you like what you're hearing, iTunes.com/Alison Rosen is where you go. Review, rate. Those are kind of the same. No, they're different.
Subscribe.
There's this snappy thing that people always say, and I'm always it's a handful of words, and I want you guys to do all of those words. And if you like what you're hearing, tell a friend as well. Okay, so Western words, a dictionary of the Old West. Why do you have this, Daniel? Did you already explain that?
Doesn't everyone have this? Just
Nope.
fun bathroom reading? In case I get caught in some virtual simulation of the Old West, I'll know
Well, now
the
there's
lingo.
Westworld, so that's possible.
It's possible. I'm prepared.
At any minute, any one of us could get Westworlded.
Exactly.
And
And
you're
you'll feel
ready.
stupid talking like a future person.
Yeah,
in the
You might
Old West.
already.
Darn
to those
tootin'.
androids who know
Nope.
everything.
But really, why do you have this?
I was writing something that took place at the turn of the last century, and I was just wanted something that would help me out with some of the lingo.
All right.
Concern
So
Because it's easy to fall into cliche when you're writing about something that you haven't experienced. You tend to write the things that you've seen in TV and movies.
right.
And I thought, I don't want to do that. I want to go back to the...
Did you watch Deadwood?
Fucking loved it. It's the best. It
So-
is the best.
I chose, this is going to be a fun quiz where I will say the term and then you guys have to guess what it means. And it's not multiple choice. You just have to buzz in. And by that, I just mean make a sound into the microphone if you think you know and guess what it is. And this covers A through H, in case you're wondering.
Wait, the dictionary only covers A through H?
No, my quiz.
Oh, okay.
I only made it to H is all I'm saying. So this could be a multiple part quiz. Now, here's the thing. I expect you guys to do well because David, before he appraised clothes, was a rancher.
Got a lot of my tricks from Virginia City, places of the Old West.
Yeah.
You move into, and then I lived in Texas, got to know rhinestones intricate, like very intimately.
Yeah.
There we go. Wendy, you grew up in Indiana.
Yeah.
It's got to give you
On
a
a
leg up
cow.
somehow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel,
On
you
just the
own-
one cow.
Yep. Everyone in my family had one, and then we would wander about the field together.
I'd love to see some old family photos.
I have some. I'll show them to you right now.
Oh, those are wonderful.
Thank you. That was my cow.
Daniel, this is your book. That probably gives you an advantage. And Jeff,
I grew up just on the west side of the Delaware River, which is in the eastern part of the U.S., so I got that going for
there
me.
you go. All right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Now, remember, you just say your name into the microphone if you want to guess. You
Okay.
don't get ding. You just get a point if you get it right.
Okay.
All right. What does airtights refer to? Airtights.
Wendy. Tights you were on a plane. Tights you were on a plane.
I'm sorry. That is not the correct answer.
Okay,
Anyone
fine.
else?
Airtights.
David.
Yes.
They are leather leggings, not to be confused with chaps. A lot of people call them chaps, but they're actually pronounced chaps. And by nature, the chaps are all assless, whereas leggings have an ass. Airtights are a version of leggings that are so tight, no farts will come out.
I'm sorry. That is incorrect, but I didn't know they were called chaps.
Yeah. Chaps. If you went to a ranch and said, where do you keep your chaps? Out you go.
Anyone else?
I really have no idea.
They're canned goods.
Oh.
Oh.
But you didn't see that
Your
coming.
can. in the leggings.
That makes
Today,
sense.
we can buy anything in cans from pie dough to potato strings, but the open range cowboy rarely saw any canned foods other than corn, tomatoes, peaches, and milk. Okay.
You can buy pie dough in a can?
Yeah, like those Oh, wait. Yeah, I guess like those
I guess
Pillsbury
so.
cans where you pop them and...
That's
it makes-
technically a can.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, pie dough.
Pie
I was
dough.
like, pie dough, and everyone knew what it was and felt I was living on a different planet.
You don't like delicious pie dough? So good.
All right.
What's next?
Barkin' at a knot. What does barkin' at a knot mean?
David,
Yes.
that's getting real drunk.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
Damn it.
Oh, Wendy.
Yes.
It's when you see a knot and you bark at it.
I'm sorry, that is also incorrect.
Well, I think it's correct. Because
Well,
technically,
yeah.
if you said, I'm barking at a knot, then you proceeded to fucking bark at a fucking knot.
David,
that
Oh,
can I go again?
Yeah, this game allows that.
Wait, did you have one, Daniel?
yeah, but you go.
I think it's when you have to go pee and you walk over to a tree and then, there are knots in the tree and then you're peeing there.
I like that. These all sound right, but no, we have not gotten it yet.
This is when you've tied your shoes in a way that you can't get it untied, so you take a piece of a tree to wedge it open, and you can't.
Wendy.
Yes. All right, we're on round 2.
Airtights.
No, I'm sorry, Jeff.
I think it's when you're constipated and you're cursing at it because it won't come out.
No, the correct answer is trying to accomplish the impossible.
Barking
I
at
feel,
a
I feel
knot.
like I should get partial credit.
I think we all feel that way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You
Also, my
all
answer was 100%.
you all get partial credit. All right.
Because those are words in an order that means barking at a knot.
This is a verb.
Okay.
Oh, I might have
Ooh.
given it away. I definitely
doing
didn't give it
Mad Libs
away.
now?
Yeah. Booger. What does booger mean in
David.
the Old West? Yes.
Well, it can be a number of things. Like that really boogered you means like it confused the hell out of you. And then booger off means like get the hell out of here.
Is that not
And then-
bugger off?
Bugger off, booger off. I'd say the two.
Both are correct.
Yeah, thank you.
Wait, what,
I'll defer to my Old
What was-
West historian.
what was the first one you said?
Um,
I'm present. I'm here.
confusing. Like,
That is correct.
oh, all right.
It took me a second because what it says in this book here is booger, to scare, to confuse. But my brain was I was just thinking about to scare.
Your
and then
brain
I'm
was
like,
boogered.
I was boogered. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, you said that.
That and cowboys still say that. Like, she got them all boogered. One time this cow came in this pen. She was so mean. She had all these like goiters on her neck. We had to lance. It was disgusting. And she would like be dripping all this pus, and then she wouldn't leave the pen. So you'd have to like get in her way, and then she would charge at you, and you'd have to jump onto the fence and be like, "Whoa, got you all boogered."
Wait, you
That
really did this?
Yeah.
I thought Allison was making
No,
it.
he really did. He really was a rancher.
Well, then I feel like I'm winning. Because I got one right.
Right. Right.
2 right.
You got barking at a knot and,
And airtight.
airtight.
And I would have gotten booger right if I had an opportunity to answer.
Okay. The next one is dally your tongue.
David.
Yes.
Well, actually, I know what this one is.
Oh, you did. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
that is the game.
All
That's the game.
right. So dally means to wrap your people. It's just a rope, but people say your lariat or lasso. That's again outside of the West, just your rope. Like, so if you rope something, you dally it around your horn. So to dally your tongue means to like tie it up, shut up, close your mouth.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's what
are.
I would have said that if I'd had an opportunity to answer.
I've stopped keeping score, and I never started.
I'm ahead.
I would have predicted David would clean up on this
Yeah.
one.
4 to 1 Wendy.
Okay. And finally, what is a hairy dick?
Wendy.
Yes.
The dick with a bunch of like hair on it and around it and just like in the whole area.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
went.
Although it technically, just based on language, it is
right.
correct.
Just
Much
like barking at a
airtights.
knot.
Yeah.
and
Oh, barking at a
airtights.
knot.
I have now
yeah.
correctly answered every single question that I've had the opportunity to answer.
There we go. Well, Wendy's the winner. Anyone else want to? Even though we've already declared Wendy the winner,
A hairy
anyone
dick?
else?
Hairy
Yeah.
dick.
Harvey Weinstein.
Nailed it.
Did
Nailed
pretty
it.
good.
Now we have another winner.
I would
Hairy
guess
dick.
it's either a tough guy or some like a rough drink.
No, like everything in here is that, but this is not. Jeff, do you have a guess?
I don't.
It is an unbranded animal, especially a calf.
Hairy dick. Never heard that one.
Huh.
So
You know what they call them now? Slicks.
that's an unbranded calf.
Yeah, in some places.
Why do they get rough when you brand them?
Well, I mean, they're just like they're smooth in the sense that nothing has.
There's no scars.
Yeah, nothing has changed it. So
Right.
slicks.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff reading this book that was both amusing and then I had to go, don't my thing that I say to myself all the time. Don't Google that. Don't Google that. Like, there was something in here. I forget the name of it now, but you actually might know this. It's like a weaning board.
Weaning board.
That it's to wean, like, they attach it to a cow's nose, and it's a board that allows the cows to graze but prevents them from nursing, I guess, which just seems so cruel.
Yeah, geez, I've never heard of that.
It's used in
That's
weaning.
rough.
Let me see if I can just real fast find it. You guys talk amongst yourselves. This will take 1 second.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Peas and carrots,
Jeez.
peas and carrots.
Oh.
Like that, like just background.
Yeah.
Like,
So someone says, "Talk amongst yourselves."
So,
Do you think talk to yourself? And it
Wow,
is
that's
just
not
like
it.
background.
Do you
Like
guys
in a
think the
movie.
Holocaust was real?
Did you know that the peas and carrots, they call that walla?
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know it was called walla.
Walla
until I-
is any of the background
Right.
stuff, and apparently it is hard to get into a Walla group.
Oh, really?
That it pays well.
Because they hang out
Interesting.
together and they're very, very cliquey.
They are.
You can
They're
never
called loop
understand what they're
groups.
saying.
They're called loop groups, and it is hard to get into a loop group.
We already have your vocal range accounted for. So we don't need another one
I don't
of
know
you.
the ins and outs. I know we have a loop group on Bob's, and I know they do Walla on Bob's, but I have never seen the loop group. I don't know anything
Do they all
about it.
walk to the cars together?
I
Like,
don't
do
know,
they
but
do
it's-
everything
it's
together?
Apparently,
They're always
it's
a
like
group.
the thing. My friend turned me on to it because he was like, "Can you get me into the loop group?" And I was like, "I've never seen the loop group. I don't know about the loop group." But it's a tough thing to crack into a loop group.
I once got
I
in the
do
way
picture
of
them all
like
in,
several loop groups coming down the street,
Yeah.
and it was terrifying.
Yeah. I do picture them all in like sort of matching sweatshirts and just like sort of looking around really
Yeah.
paranoid that
Yeah.
somebody's going to bust into the loop group.
And just
Yeah. So I've still never seen a loop group.
Daniel, were you outside when it was loop group critical mass?
Yeah, it was just that time of year. The
Were they on
Santa
bikes?
Anas were blowing, and it was pilot season.
Yeah.
and
You just hear on your left.
Yeah,
and
all
then,
of a
like,
sudden-
fucking loop group comes
yeah, it's like
through.
everyone's like, yeah. And I turned around, and it was just 10 loop groups.
Or like when you're driving and the loop group's in the loop group lane, and it's nerve wracking because there's always like another loop group right behind them,
Right.
But they're
This
not
is
together.
such
But
weird, like
Yeah.
PTSD for me.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys knew that I was in a loop group for a long time.
Really?
And-
Wait, is
yeah.
this real?
No, totally real. And I got ostracized from it
it's
we-
real.
It's
It
totally
is-
real.
But
What
now
happened?
I can't tell if you're being real. But
I
if
know, I
you
can't
are,
either.
This is a real thing.
It is, and
Yeah.
it's you don't change the way the group operates. Like
Right.
for years, we would go in and we'd describe them in like 1, 2, or 3 ways. Like let's do like lasagna today, and everyone would come in and just kind of we'd have these soft L's and A's.
sure.
And then one day I was like, oh, we should mix in like we should do like a pony. Like we should say like harder syllables, and out I went.
Yeah,
This is not true.
That
No,
was
I
just
know
like
for
the-
sure.
I know.
This has
Oh,
been a true story brought to
This
you
is
by.
not true. But that is
I would
how
have believed it.
You would?
Yeah, I would have until you got to the soft L's and A's.
I do
seems
like
like
the
a loop
idea
group
of
thing.
email going around.
I like
being
the idea-
what sounds are we going to do today?
I like the idea of competitive loop groups, though. Like,
Yeah.
that they would be that like they know the other loop groups, and they know which is kind
Yeah,
of the
totally.
best loop group.
It's like a really boring pitch perfect.
we're sort of we're known for our soft like consonants.
Or like,
they
Having a
really-
viewing party watching like Cheers and like, look at these assholes ruining this episode. They're the worst bar patrons.
Yeah,
Or like that
I
they
hate
do
this.
mild alarm very well, but that the loop group is very bad at like real alarm,
That's right.
so they can't get on like an action movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like I everyone loves that movie, but I can't stand it. The loop group was just so awful.
Anyway, Blab.
Our group was
is-
called Scoopers Loopers by this guy. His name wasn't even Scoop. It was Scott, but everyone called him Scoop, then Scoop. Anyway, enough about me and my old loop group.
So you did work on a ranch, but you weren't in a loop group.
Right.
Inaccurate.
Blab. To clip on a calf's nose, a thin board, 6 by 8 inches in size, at the center of one of the long edges. He can graze, but is assuredly weaned. Anyway, it's a device for weaning, and it seems really sad.
Very sad.
So
Hard
why did
for
we do that to
cows.
Elliot?
Oh, stop.
If it's so
It's
mean,
not- don't even
Why
joke.
did you?
Don't even.
Is Elliot grazing now? Is he off the
Yes.
boob and into a field?
He's a slick.
Oh, you haven't branded your
Not
child
yet. No. You guys, I need to. No, you know what? I'm going to do that next week.
Okay.
That was a tease for
If
next
it was
week.
going to be yell at me, you should do it this week.
I
So
like
check
to
it.
yell.
Double check. Does it say yell at Wendy? Because next week won't work.
No. You know what? No. Next week.
Don't do it. Don't do it, honey.
The anticipation is
know, right?
just.
I know. What's it? Maybe I. Oh, hell no. We have awesome By the way, at Podfest, ton of people were wearing our new T-shirts.
Everyone at Podfest, thank you for showing up. That was such a fun time. It was great to meet everybody.
Very nice
Everyone's
humans.
so nice and amazing.
They had ears
really-
around their necks.
Yes, that
This
was
is
a
reference to a Daniel story.
that is a reference to which kind of blew my mind. They're just the best. It's really great to see you all. So thanks for coming out. It was a great day.
And I hope they decided on a group tattoo. They were considering.
Were they
it,
really
right?
doing that?
It
Yeah,
seemed
they were
like
talking about
yeah.
it.
Oh boy.
I don't know that they really did it, but there was talk of getting an Alison Rosen's Your New Best Friend tattoo, which, as I said, if I were to get a tattoo, I don't even know what I would get. And I am me, so I would love to know what they would get.
I have some ideas for you.
You do?
Yeah.
Are these for on air or off?
Just ideas.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
if we're gonna
Sure.
spitball somehow.
Yeah. Like, what about a big scene from Everybody Loves Raymond on your full back?
Yeah.
Like from
that-
shoulders to top of butt, like from a classic episode of Everybody Loves
Sure.
Raymond.
I like a not classic episode, like an in
like
between
an
moment.
obscure,
Yeah.
more obscure, unpopular episode.
Right.
Sure.
I like a floor plan to an office building that has a courtyard.
Oh yeah.
So you
Oh my
are
God!
here.
What if it
that would
was
be like
my?
Prison Break. Yeah. That's what you should do: is get your body tattooed with all of that building, like in Prison Break, and then break in, and then use your tattoos to break out,
Yeah.
like the guy did. Right?
That was
That's what
the
he
plan?
did. His brother was in, guys, so he got his full body tattooed with like the plans of the prison. And then he got convicted of a crime, a foolproof plan, because you always know which prison they're going to send you to, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine
It's like
if they
school
sent it to the
districts.
wrong
You
one.
red
It's like,
fin it.
I fucking got the tattoo
Yeah.
to the.
Yeah, you red fin where you're going to do your crime, and it shows you which prison you'd go into.
Or you get
And
like
then-
the 12 Angry Men jury room and one guy flips it and then you wind up walking away and you're like,
Yeah,
man, I just
I
spent
know.
$20,000 on a
So
tattoo.
many tattoos.
Everyone loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Anything to say for
Exactly.
yourself,
That'd be
young
at least
man.
something to talk about in jail.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, you break into the courtyard. The guy committed the crime, broke in to get his brother out. So he was like a good man, and then his brother was innocent too. And then I stopped watching, so I don't know what after that.
Jimmy Simpson's in that, right?
Who?
Jimmy Simpson, who's in Westworld as well.
Don't
Okay.
they
I don't
strip you
know.
naked before you get into prison though? I mean, I
Sure,
feel like
you would
they
think
would
they
see
would
that.
see the floor plans of
Yeah.
the prison,
This
But
is
what
but
would
I
suspicious.
don't
but what
know.
would they do? What could they do?
I think they were like hidden inside a pattern.
No,
You
but,
know?
but
Clever.
Yeah. You
I'm
don't
just saying.
It didn't say like prison plans at the
Yeah,
top.
with a red like line, how to get out.
No, it was like different thing. This could all be completely wrong.
But I'm
this
just
is what I remember.
saying, even
Yeah.
if they saw that you had prison plans tattooed on your body, what could they do about it? Just keep
Send you to a
extra-
different prison where
Oh.
your brother isn't.
Lock the door.
Other than those things, what could they do? Other than those two things, for real, what could they do? We have an iTunes comment of the week, just a positive one this week. I was reading the same negative one every week, but I just feel like I don't know how much fun. I don't know how fun
what's
that
the
is for
count at
everyone.
now? 3 weeks since a negative comment.
I know.
Yeah, that's a pretty good work
Then it
site.
starts to become a challenge.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but no one's rising to it.
Oh, brother.
I'm sure someone will eventually. Look, you can't do better than that negative one that I don't have in front of me that said I'm a Valley girl with local fry Pastor Prime and said that Daniel was going to Hemingway himself. I mean,
It's pretty
come
rough.
on. But anyway, we have
Somebody
a
wrote that?
My mom
Yes.
wrote it.
Oh, your mom.
She's honest. That's her thing.
All right, who wants to read the positive one? Daniel.
Alison wants your iTunes comments. Alison wants them, yes she does. Please leave her some iTunes comments and don't forget to click 5 stars.
Worst sports podcast ever by Big DK. Alison invited me to be her new best friend, and I could use another one. So I subscribed to the podcast. Now, my perfect best friend would be a big sports fan. So, wait, did I read that right?
Now, my perfect best friend
Oh.
would be. I'm here to help.
There's a comma there.
Yeah, should be.
Now, My perfect best friend would be a big sports fan. As I expected to hear many... Jeff will edit this later so that it sounds flawless. So I expected to hear many discussions that would help my fantasy sports teams. Boy, was I wrong. No sports at all. Instead, all I got was great humor and heartwarming stories. Alison, Daniel, Jeff, and all the guests on the Thursday show do a great job of entertaining and enlightening me about everything but sports. I keep listening for all the fun and in desperate hope that someday sports debates will occur. Let's go, guys. Should I bench Andy Dalton this week?
Yes, pick up CJ Beathard, and you're going to be doing just great. You're welcome to the sports chat.
Sports chat.
Who I also think is going to be great this week is Al P. Nuts.
Oh, I've been following his career, and he's amazing.
Al Peanuts has not... I'm sorry.
No, he's off the injured reserve.
Has not been
Back
good for
from the
like
war.
2 seasons.
He was pretty good last week against the
right. See, this is why we don't get into it.
guys.
Yeah.
I had a dream 2 nights ago that I was writing the word Dodgers in script with a capital G instead of a D. And I showed it to Alison. I'm like, this doesn't look
in
right
his dream.
in the dream. And she's like, it's right. It's Godgers. And I'm like, I guess it is right. But it's when you look at it, it doesn't look right.
I guess it is.
That's some hot sports talk for you.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good sports talk. That's really good.
I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I can't remember what Al P. Nuts, his full name is.
Oh, Al Peanuts Nuts. Is his full name.
Is
Al
it
Peanuts
Albert?
Nuts.
You can see why he shortened it.
Oh, yeah. It's
Alan?
It's Alnold Peanuts Nuts.
Alnold Peanuts Nuts.
Alnold Peanuts Nuts is his full name. And he is a wide catcher.
What
He's a wide catcher.
Yes.
what nationality is
yeah.
Almild?
Alnold?
Yeah.
It's American.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Alnold?
Well, he's Canadian, but the name is American. So Alnold Peanuts Nuts is a wide catcher with the
With the
I don't even
Detroit
know if I know
Lions?
what sport he plays.
Football.
Wide catcher.
Yeah, football.
Alnold.
It's a new position
Oh yeah. I
that
mean,
they
yeah.
did this year.
Yeah,
That's
it's
unusual.
Like a,
They
flex,
get.
like a move.
I think
tight
they add
end
3
guy.
or 4 positions a year. New ones.
I think that's right.
Yeah. So he's one of the new ones that they did.
I'm gonna get an Alnold jersey.
Yeah, you should.
Does it say nuts on the back?
Yep.
And that's
It
with a
does.
Z or an S?
2 S's. One is there's a silent one. It's not where you think
Before
it is. It's Nusts.
Yeah, people.
But the first S you don't hear because his first name is Alnold. Is an American name,
Right.
But Nuts is it's not American.
And Peanut
It's
was
French.
like a nickname, or that's a family name for his middle name?
That's his middle name.
That's his mother's maiden name.
Wait,
Beatrice
so his name's
Peanut?
Alnold Peanuts Nuts, but with a silent S.
Peanut
Alnold. Let me
Nuts.
spell it for you. It's easy. ALNOLD.
Oh, standard spelling on Alnold.
Yep. I told you. It's just a regular American Alnold. And then Peanuts, spelled Peanuts. And then, but the nuts at the end is NUSTS. And the first S you don't pronounce. So Alnold Peanuts Nuts.
But you still kind of said it. You said nuts.
Well, because I'm from there.
It's too
Where
hard
he's
for
from.
non-native
You're
speakers
from the
to
part
get.
of Canada that he is originally
Yes.
from.
Yep.
And so, boy, that's tricky. So if you're from there, you could say nuts.
Oh, so is it American pronunciation that is just nuts? But you
No,
guys,
it's a French-Canadian area of Canada. It's
Right.
French Canada.
And but he became a football player.
Oh, well, because you can be a football player from
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
So he learned in his town.
And he's a wide catcher.
He's a wide catcher, yeah, which makes sense, I think, for a Canadian because they have that in a lot of their sports.
They have to be slow but good catchers.
Yeah, yep.
The weird
So
thing is he
he's-
has all those opportunities for cool nicknames, and from what I've heard, his teammates still refer to him as Alnold all the time.
Alnold,
Only.
because it's easier to say than nuts.
That is true.
Yeah,
Or Peanut, which is like here more fun to say.
Peanuts.
Like that. Oh, Peanuts is his middle name.
Arnold Peanuts Nuts. I think.
It's Arnold P, which stands for peanuts, nuts.
Yeah.
So his name is Arnold Peanuts. But
Right.
if you say it out the full way, it's Arnold Peanuts Nuts.
Yes.
Yeah, the P stands for peanuts.
And if you
Yeah.
pronounce that first S, it's almost like penis.
It would sound like no,
Right.
but no, that one's spelled Peanuts. It's only his last name is the French
Has
Canadian spelled
silent
Nusts.
No, I was saying if they did the P period, like Al Peanuts. And then
Oh
if
yeah, if you said it, it would sound like Arnold Penis.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
wait.
that's not how you say it, so it's not a problem.
But you say it that way.
no, I retain a hint of the homeland. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, because if you're
It's
French
an adorable
Canadian,
accent, by the way.
Thank you. And that you can. I say a little S in there, but no one else should try it.
I wouldn't want to embarrass myself that way.
No.
All right. Let's do one Just Mirror Everyone, given the time. And then you guys can get your Just Mirror Everyone fix on the next episode. Okay.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone's good?
I'm on Patreon, you guys. I always like to wedge this here where it's somewhat unnatural. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen is where you go. Different reward levels. The live stream will be this weekend. So if you're hearing this, I'm going to do it on Sunday. And this whole life has become a blur. So I don't know the exact date. But anyway, so there's interactive live stream option. Bonus episodes. Jordan Morris is going to be on the episode this month. There's a level where you get merch in the mail, a level where you can have sentences of your choosing read on air. I now have 2 people at that level, Mo and Tim Carter. Thank you. You are awesome. That's right. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen is where you go for that. Tim Carter, your sentence, which is delightful, and the story behind it, I'm going to do on the next episode. Okay. Here's the Just Mirror Everyone. This is from one dirtbag. Play an observation game in public I like to call father and daughter or husband and wife. It's always weird when you realize, oh, wait, no, they are husband and wife.
I saw one. I don't play that game, but I took there's so many wheels within wheels on this one. I took my kids to see the space shuttle at the Science Center. And there was a man who looked to be about 40 to 45 with a girl who appeared like 16, 17. I'm assuming he was not trafficking her and she was older, like 18 or 19. But it was not just because then they did PDA that made it very clear they were a couple. And it was not that. I mean, had I seen them out at like a bar or something, whatever. But like he took her to do like an activity for children.
Yeah.
That's what bothered. I was like, why are you at the space shuttle? Like she was probably here on a field trip like 3 years ago. Like it was so because I once, I mean, if someone's of age, they can consent to be with anyone of any age that they want. But it was like, it was the vibe of it. It was so gross that I was like, get them out of here. It's bad. It's bad for the children.
Yeah.
That's one I saw. I don't know. How about you guys?
It's bad optics.
Bad optics for that guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't
He
it
seemed
seem
proud
like
of himself.
Optics was not a word everyone used all the time until recently.
Yeah.
It's a trendy word.
Well,
Yeah.
Because of the politics stuff.
Yeah, everyone's a pundit now, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of replaced it is what it is.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. It's the new one.
All right. I have a dog to tell you guys about.
You are a dog.
Poop on your butt.
You are a dog.
Poop on your butt.
A doggy dog.
Poop on your butt.
Dog, 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 dog.
Poop on your butt.
Dog, 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 dog.
Poop on your butt.
That's what you are.
Poop on your butt.
You are a pooch. An ugly mutt. You come inside.
Come inside.
With poop on your butt.
With poop on your butt.
Dog, 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 dog.
Dog, 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 dog.
That's what you are.
That's what you are.
Meet adorable Andy. He might be the happiest dog up for adoption right now at Friends of the Animals Baton Rouge. Andy has a slightly foxy appearance with a silver and gray coat mixed with some reddish-brown markings. Andy's the perfect size at 20-ish pounds, 2 years old, and he loves everyone he meets. He's great with other dogs and loves to run and play. Andy is heartworm, negative, house-trained, crate-trained, and good with children. Listeners can learn more about Andy by going to tinyurl.com/AndyBFF. Look how cute he is, you guys.
Oh my god!
Oh, what a happy guy!
He's the cutest. I'm going to scroll up. Of all the dogs that I featured, I want Andy the most.
Where is he located?
Baton Rouge.
Oh,
Yeah.
far.
My phone is not allowing this to show fully. But look, there he is. He's super cute. 20 pounds, 2 years old. Go get Andy. Link to Andy will be in the episode summary. Also, I don't know if Amazon has this cowboy book. It probably does, because that's probably where you got it. I will put a link to this as well and other fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening. Tune in to my Monday episode, because I am having a woman who was at the Las Vegas at the Route 91 festival where the big shooting happened, and she got shot in the leg, and she's okay. It turns out that she's someone that her grandparents lived next door to my parents, and so I knew her from childhood, and I hadn't talked to her, excuse me, in years, and then she reached out to me. So crazy. Yes. So make sure to tune in for that. Yes, Wendy.
Oh, can I just say that if anyone is interested in learning more about the International Rescue Committee, which we talked about before, their URL is very easy to remember. It's just rescue.org. And you can give money there, or you can find out more about all the things that they do and just like tweet about it. Or, I mean, because you can't give money.
So
just
SEO optimized.
Yeah, rescue.org. It can be easy to remember. Thank you.
Of course.
Way to bring us down.
I know.
No, I started it by starting this show.
Well, I should have said it earlier when
No,
we were
it's okay.
talking about it, and then I thought about it for an hour, and then I said it.
Jeff, where can we find you?
Well, seems like a waste to push to my Twitter tweet, blah, blah. So I'm going to say, you want to follow me, go to rescue.org. I'm giving them my plug. That's my donation.
Aww.
That's so nice. Daniel?
You can follow me at
Dequants on the Snappy.
Grambling Snapchat.
Dequants on the Snappy.
I'm going to be talking about Alien Covenant on my podcast, The Watching Hour. And you know what? I'm going to mention... No, I'm not. We're just going to be talking about frivolous bullshit. But frivolous bullshit's important, too.
Yeah.
Definitely go to the international
Rescue.org. Come on.
I'm not trying to bring everyone down.
No. I was saying come on to him because you just said the name and he couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Honey,
What?
it's late. I don't remember things anymore.
I don't either. Wendy, where can we find you?
I'm just at Wendy Molyneux on Twitter. If you try to follow me on Instagram, I will neg you because it's only pictures of my children, and I will not accept your following.
Oh, I didn't know that you're...
I lock up my Instagram. I don't use it as a social media tool at all.
That's a choice people make.
I guess
I
so.
understand.
Yeah.
David Huntsberger?
If you do have articles of clothing you'd like appraised, you can upload them at appraisalmalaise.com, standard spelling. And you can listen to my podcast, The Space Cave, where I sit down with scientists or people of that of an interesting nature. This week's guest is Danielle Gunn from the Planetary Society, which was started by, Carl Sagan had a hand in that. It's pretty interesting. Planetary.org, you can visit them. My website is davidhuntsberger.com. And all the links to social media type things are on there, but I'm not very good at any of those, as you guys well know. But I did have that tweet at the beer company that they never got back to me.
But it was very dramatic.
Yeah, well, I think people were riveted. Like, what is going on with that
Waiting
beer?
for a response. What happened?
Oh, I forgot to say Bob's Burgers is back with original episodes Sundays at 7:30 when we are not preempted on Fox.
There you go. Follow me on Twitter at Alison Rosen and follow me on Instagram at Alison Rosen. And thank you guys so much for listening. I love you. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Alison Rosen is your new best friend.